out of Liberia by sharing their successes, challenges, entrepreneur endeavors, and much more with the intent to inspire other upcoming changemakers. The 1847 show also promotes the Liberian culture by creating a space for individuals to learn the history of our nation to find solutions to problems that affect our country today. For this and much more, stay tuned for All Things Liberian. We'll be right back after this short break.
Lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands.
Yeah.
One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This new land of liberty, shalom be for all of us. I'm not talking about one person, all of us. History said you been the cornerstone of Africa. You been a safe place when it's free slave came back to Africa. That green pepper ghost. Hey, Mama Liberia. I can't wait to see you taking over Africa. You ain't got the power to do it, man. You are lifted. See your children there. Look at how they gifted. You gave birth to the first African.
You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Welcome back. You're watching the 1847 show, and this is Season 1, Series 2, Episode 9, which is part of our series called Digitalized Liberia. The series highlights individuals solving real problems by integrating technological solutions to make Liberia a digitalized nation. Digitalizing Liberia could mean better data transparency, as technology provides access to information which could aid against corruption, improve health and education facilities, deliver efficient agricultural practices that could yield higher crops production, amongst many other advantages. Our guest today is Shalom PC Massalay, who is a graduate of the Blue Crest University and a computer science teacher at the American International School of Monrovia. She is a determined young lady who is deeply passionate about using software, artificial intelligence, and many other technological means to solve real problems affecting our society. We're going to now welcome our guests. Hello, Shalom, are you there? One second, her internet might have frozen here. All right, so stand by real quick. We might have lost her. Oh, there she goes. Yes, Shalom, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing? How is your day going so far?
Good, good. It's hectic, but it's good.
It's hectic. Okay, that's awesome. So we're gonna go right into the questions. And then before we do, however, to anyone watching, just know that we're recording this at an unusual time because of our guest schedule. So this is being pre-recorded. So if you're watching live at the usual time, just know that we won't be able to interact and respond to your comments and feedback. However, thank you, Shalom, for joining us. Thank you for honoring the invitation. We're glad to have you. And one of the first things I want to talk about is ever since high school, you've been very driven. I've known you to be driven and determined young lady. So what has helped you over time to stay focused, to stay on course, and try to achieve what you want to achieve in life?
Okay, so basically, I've always had lots of goals that I wanted to accomplish, and I knew that if I wasn't driven and I didn't work hard, I won't accomplish it. So that was one of the things that motivated me a lot to keep on pushing, even when things are hard and things like that. Yeah, because I really wanted to accomplish my goals.
Right. So would you say maybe another thing was a person or people that encourage you along the way, and who
Yeah.
were those people?
So I had my mom, my brother, and I had external people that helped me throughout, encouraged me from high school and also throughout university.
Do you have a mentor in your life outside of
Yeah.
your family?
My mentor is actually my brother.
Your brother? Okay, fair
Yes.
enough.
Yes.
So both a family and a professional mentor, because he's also in
Yes.
the, okay,
Yes. Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
So one of the things that many people might not know watching this is that you and I, when we were teenagers, we started rapping, right? We wanted to be rappers. So tell me, and one thing I remember from that is definitely you were a better off rapper than I was, and you had the talent. So what inspired you at that time to get involved into rapping? Specifically, hold on before you answer. Shalom was a Christian rapper. She rapped specifically about the gospel, and she was sharing God's message through music. So she was
Yeah.
specifically into rapping because she was trying to use that as a medium to share the
Uh-huh.
gospel. However, what else inspired you besides that?
So you see, sometimes in church, people don't understand the gospel that well, okay? And sometimes people don't also have the opportunity to come to church. So rap music is something that attracts youth a lot. So I just used what was in the Bible and what God inspired me to like put it in a song and a rap. And I knew that definitely was going to attract more youth. And at the same time, they will be hearing the gospel.
So would you say that's also a hobby that was fun for you as well?
It was so much fun.
So much
So
fun.
much. But the other thing I don't know how come IT overcome that.
And that's my next question. How do you transition from rapping to IT, something that involves entertainment, to something that it really has nothing to do with entertainment? It's just straight work. And how did you transition?
So if anyone that knows me, like really knows, I have lots of passions, and some of them don't. They're not
Coincide?
similar. They're like opposite to each other. So like from the time I was little, I always loved gadgets, exploring apps and things like that. So it was my brother that actually he spotted out. He said, "I think you'll be very good at IT." At that time, I didn't even know what IT was. I was like 10, I think 10 or 12. I wrote my dad's name in the TV, and I even found a way to. I had like 300 APKs in the phone that couldn't support 300 apps. So I did like crazy things, and my brother like, okay, I think you're good. You're gonna be good with IT. And from that time, I loved it so much.
Even more than rap, which is why you don't rap
Even
anymore,
more than
right?
rap. I'm very surprised. Even more than rap.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So your brother, let's talk a little bit about your brother. He's also into the IT field, and when you fill out the questionnaire, you included his name as well. So
Yeah.
what are some milestones, speaking from, coming from you, that he has achieved within the Liberia IT industry, or that he's working towards achieving, that maybe has inspired you and in your journey as well?
So my brother has done lots of projects, like personal projects for specific industries. So I won't talk about that. And he has when he was graduating from university, he worked on a project that he didn't finish, an AI project wherein you could use, at that time AI wasn't popular. I'm not talking of now that you have some AI environment, development environment that can help you do it.
Hmm.
So he invented this app that he could move the mouse on his computer with his hand, so he could direct it, you
Wow,
know. And it was
that's impressive.
so inspiring. When I saw it, I was like, he didn't complete it, but when he showed me it, it really inspired me, like to dig more. Yeah.
So what are some apps that you have started in your journey that you've not completed?
Okay.
Because every ambitious person have a list of things that they wanted to get to but never made it to. So what would you say are some of yours?
So currently, I'm working on a project, an app that will help those that have restaurants. I don't want to talk about it because I'm not done, and I don't want anyone to take my idea or something. But I'm
Yeah.
very sure I'm going to finish it before the year ends.
Hmm.
And I had another project I was working on, an real estate website. I told you about it before.
I actually have a question here about that. So for sure, that's definitely fine. And trust me, I get the idea of keeping things to yourself until it's the right time to let it out. For even a million reasons, right? So I definitely understand. So you went to Blue Crest. Tell us about your time at Blue Crest as a young woman who's trying to now achieve this dream of becoming an IT in person, an IT specialist. What was that experience like going to Blue Crest? Was that the best and right environment for you, or could you have been somewhere else that would have added more value to what you had?
Okay, so that's a hard question. But okay, I enjoyed my time at Bluegrass so much. The people, the teachers, everyone was so friendly, so helpful. And by the way, my brother also taught me. He taught me like 2 semesters Java programming and web programming. So it was really good. They were helpful, though we didn't get every help we had to get because I was checking on some curriculums abroad. A person that studies IT or computer science must do data structures and algorithm. We didn't do it. And must also do discrete math. We didn't do it.
And
But
why would you say that's the case? Is it because they didn't have the infrastructure to do it, or they didn't have the technical expertise? What was lacking?
I'm not sure what happened because right now it's still confusing. Because when I just entered the school, we had the best teachers. I should tell you, we had the best teachers, to be honest. But I don't know what happened, why they didn't have those. I'm not sure.
Okay. But overall, you said your experience was good, and would you trade it for anything maybe outside of Liberia, if you could? And this is not to hurt the feelings of your instructors or whoever, but do you think that it could have been better with what specifically you wanted to do for your career?
I think I think yes. I could trade it for something else, but um, it was good, really good, as I said. But I think I could have had something better.
For sure, for sure. At least it's enough to make you feel like you've learned something. I would assume that you can apply it with the job and experiences that you've accumulated afterwards. So that's impressive. Now I want to talk a little bit about comparison, right? So a lot of people talk about Blue Crest, and it's the number one university in terms of an IT university. However, I do know that stars existed prior to that, but I don't know at what level Stars is compared to Blue Crest. So, what would you say is the difference between Blue Crest and Stars University or College?
So I've never seen like the curriculum of stars, okay? But I do have some friends there. And we talk at times and some of the things they say they learn. Like I talked to one of the girls there, she was a freshman student and she said she was doing geography and some other course. And then she said she has never programmed before. I was like, oh my God. In our first semester, we started programming.
That's
How
crazy.
come you want to do IT and then you don't start, even if you're doing other courses, but programming is the core. You should start
Right.
doing it. So I was so
Right.
shocked. So, and then most people were like, okay, I think they checked our curriculums, they saw our books because we had our own books. We weren't using PlanFlex and things like that. So they're like, okay, we think Bluegrass is better, but I've never done my own like investigation on that. No.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I'm glad you went to the best IT college in Liberia University. Now, for those that are watching and might be interested, just from your perspective, do you think the tuition was affordable or just for the average Liberian? Because we're trying to get more people into the field, specifically women. How is the tuition compared to other universities?
It wasn't affordable, to be honest. It
Okay, that's
wasn't.
fair. Are
But
there
there's
scholarship
something,
opportunities?
yes, there's something really good they're doing. They do have scholarship. Like when I left, not when I was in the school. Yes, they
Oh, I
do
see.
have. And I really like it and I appreciate that from them.
Okay. So, what are some of your, now that you've graduated, you're working, you have a good job, what are some of your future educational goals or educational goals that you would like to start working on to advance yourself into what may be the next stage of your career?
Okay, so currently I'm taking some courses online. And then also, how do I say it? I would like to further my studies in cybersecurity and the next, and then further my studies in artificial intelligence. That's what I would like to do.
So, you want to kind of master both artificial intelligence and cybersecurity?
Yeah.
So I do have questions here for later on in the interview, so we can talk more about that. Because I feel like that's one of the topics that a lot of people hear, but they don't really truly understand what it means, or to the extent that it could affect them as individuals, right? So I want to keep that as a side conversation. Now, you're very, like I said, I mentioned earlier, you have a very good job. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis? What is your job as a computer science teacher? What does it mean, and why did you decide to work for that institution?
Okay. So I'm a computer science teacher, as you said, and I teach the kids because I'm teaching students from pre-K to fifth grade. So basically, I teach them coding concepts, computer science concepts as well, and using block codes because kids get bored with text, black background with text. It's just so even some adults get bored with
Hmm.
that. So I
Hmm.
teach them like colorful blocks, but also it's making them to learn coding concepts. They're applying coding concepts and so usually, I also manage the class, make sure that the learning environment is safe, so no one is fighting, no one is bad mouthing anyone else, things like that. So that's what I do usually
Is
on a
that
daily basis.
is that driven solely by the passion of IT, or is it also driven by the passion for kids as well?
So it's driven by the passion of IT, one, the first thing IT, and
Mhm.
also to impact the next generation. You know what you have in you, putting it in someone else. Oh
For
my God, it's
sure.
like creating a mini you. Yeah, that's
And if you want
something.
to teach people anything, I guess that those are the best ages to even start at.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true. And you won't believe what those kids can do. Sometimes I'm baffled. I'm like, how did you get that? You know? Mhm.
Did you take this home to your mom to help you with it?
For real. I was asking the first grader, did your brother help you? She was like, no. She said, I stayed up the whole night doing this. I was like, what? Oh my
Now,
God.
you work at the American International School of Monrovia, I believe. Now, tell us a little bit about the type of students that are attending these classes that you teach. Are they typical Liberian students? Are they students of foreign people? What is the demographic like?
So it's a diverse student body. So we have Liberians, we have Lebanese, Americans, Italians, Scottish students, people from all around. So it's like um, the whole world, a mini world in here. So we have people from different countries.
Wow, that
Here
must
we
be a
are.
privilege to impact all of those people that are gonna, in the next few years to spread out and go back to their different countries. That's
True, true. It makes
privilege.
me happy, really happy.
I know. They're gonna, and I see videos on the internet of people reflecting on their kindergarten instructors and the impact that they had on their life. So I can only imagine how much impactful that is.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's
Is
talk about
and the
that.
thing about it also, I'm happy they love it. So it's not something that bores them. They really love it. When I come in class, literally, I'm telling you, literally, everyone starts shouting, Miss Shalom is here. Literally, sometimes I'm very embarrassed. I'm like, one time everyone was dragging me. So I'm like, please stop. I'm begging
How
you.
many kids do you have in your class?
So, as I said, I teach from pre-K to fifth grade. Pre-K has, I think, 10,
Mm-hmm.
and then first grade has 13. Second grade has, I'm not sure, but fifth grade has 13 as well. And then fourth grade has 6 students.
So do you go from one class to the next each day? Like every day you see all of them?
Not
Is
all
that?
of them, not
Mm-hmm.
all of them, because we have a schedule. Sometimes I meet 3 to 4 classes a day.
Okay. That's awesome. Now, affordability, right? Because whenever there's American attached to anything, what if parents are watching? They're like, you know what? I would like my child to go to that school. Affordability. Do you have any idea on how affordable this school can be?
So the tuition is on their website and it's pretty expensive for a local librarian.
Hmm.
But there's a good thing they do. They also have scholarships.
Okay.
Yes, for students from 8th grade to 11th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What would you say your future looks like within the school? What are your plans as far as developing within the school?
So with the school, so I think I'm still going to teach computer science. Yes, because I see the joy it brings to the kids dealing with technology, and sometimes I also keep them updated with the latest trends happening around, show them some tricks, things like that, and they're always excited. And it makes me excited when the kids are excited, to be honest. So I'll still have to do the same thing. Yeah,
Awesome.
they bring me
Maybe
joy.
offer the class to like a higher grade, or is that an option as well?
So, we have a computer science teacher for the middle school and high school
Mm-hmm.
students. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I interact with them, but they already have a teacher. Sometimes we work together because today, I carried my fifth graders to the seventh grade class. They were working on robots. They coded the robots. The robots were doing writing names, doing really cool things, and it was really inspiring.
That's awesome. At any point, do you get a say in the curriculum of the kids that you're teaching? Do you get to help the school develop the curriculum, or are you just implementing what the school, is saying to do?
So the middle school and high school students, no, the middle school and high school teacher, computer science teacher, and we decided to use a different curriculum because we thought it was better than the other ones we saw. So both of us decided and we came up with what we do for each classes, how we're going to make them work together at times and things like that. So I'll pretty much say yes to your question.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So we're at the halfway point of this interview. Is there anything else you want to say before we take our break and get back?
Nothing for now.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Shalom. And then for everyone watching again, this is a pre-recorded interview, so thank you for staying tuned. We won't be able to attend to any comments that are live. However, you can still stay engaged, and we'll follow up as quickly as we can. So for this and much more, stay tuned for All Things Liberian. We'll be right back after this short break.
Lucky ball. I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This new land of liberty, shalom be for all of us. I'm not talking about one person, girl, all of us. History said you been the cornerstone of Africa. You been a safe place when the free slave give back to Africa. That green pepper ghost. Hey, Mama Liberia. I can't wait to see you taking over Africa. We got the power to do it, man. You are lifted. See your children, look at how they gifted. You give.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba, founder of Destiny Creative Organization and owner at Janice's Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Welcome back to the 1847 show. I'm your host, Prince Larmy Jarbo, and this is season 1, episode 9, which is part of our series called Digitalized Liberia. This series will highlight individuals solving real problems by integrating technological solutions to make Liberia a digitalized nation. Our guest today is no one else but Shalom PC Massalay, who is a computer science teacher at the American International School of Monrovia, and she's also a graduate of the Blue Crest University. So we're going to welcome back our guest now. Hey, Shalom, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good. How has it been so far?
Good. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So to everyone watching, again, since this is pre-recorded, we won't be able to respond once we have the show go live at 5 p.m. GMT tomorrow, which is Saturday, March 25th. However, Shalom has offered that once we go live, she will be available in the comment section to answer your questions. So that's another way people can stay engaged as well. So thank you for offering that, Shalom. So from your experience, what would you say a digitalized Liberia looks like? from what you're interested in, from what you're seeing, what sectors need technology the most. What does a digitalized Liberia look like to you?
So, the digitized Liberia looks to me. So, what I think, it's gonna make life easier if Liberia is digitized. Like sometimes I look at videos on YouTube, and I have some friends outside that tell me as well, wherein people have, let's say, like the Uber app. You can call a taxi driver from your phone and book whatever you have to do just right from your phone. And other things like, let's say, we have a lot of people that are, how do I call it, amputated due to lots of reasons. So in other countries, we have people creating robots for people with amputated arms and legs,
That's AI, right?
AI and robotics.
Hmm.
Yes. So if Liberia becomes digitized, I just think life would be easier for everyone.
And the beautiful thing about technology is it applies to any sector. It's not limited.
Any
It
sector.
has no boundaries, and it
No.
can benefit anyone. But
Yes.
what would you say, maybe from your perspective, what would you say is the number one reason that the government might not be as open to the idea of digitalizing everything?
So, okay, one thing I think the government might not be open to is the risk of being attacked, so hacked. Yeah. Because the last time I was also reading an article that Africa as a whole loses billions of dollars due to hacks. So the Europeans mention Africa as a soft belly. So Africa, it's a little bit easier to hack from Africa. So that's one thing I think the Liberian government will hesitate to make digitalized Liberia, because they might have the risk of being hacked.
Okay. Especially, considering the current state of Liberia, if we do become digitalized, it's also the issue of infrastructure, because with being digitalized, there's a lot of
Huh.
infrastructure that is required, like data centers, uh,
Exactly. Exactly.
24-hour internet, 24-hour servers running.
Current,
Exactly. So
all that. Yes.
we might be a bit far away from that, but in the meantime, there are several challenges that we first need to settle in other sectors, like with LEC, and so on. But
Internet.
yeah, but one thing I would say though, that could also be the reason why they're opposed to just digitalizing the country as a whole or the government as a whole. What do you think? Corruption, because with technology comes access to information, right? Now, with the access to information brings transparency, which with transparency, you get to see through the lines and what's happening in the government. And with transparency comes accountability. So people that are far-sighted in the wrong way, that understand how technology works, but have
True.
the bad motives, they're going to prevent those things from coming in, because now the system, the technology might be able to tell them how much money they're truly spending in the district,
Yes. Yes.
when they should have been spending what the government
Tracks all your
authorizes.
activities. Yes.
Exactly, exactly. So what is your take on that? Do you think that, like, what's your opinion on the subject?
I actually agree with you. Really, I agree with you. Because technology exposes everything, because you have all your activities being tracked. So and you can't even deny it, because it's just the proof is just there. And many people might not like that.
It's
Many
black
people
or white, right?
exactly. So it's not like someone lies it on your name or something, but it's just there. The computer doesn't lie.
If you give it some room, it might even add your date of birth, your mother's name, and everything to prove that was you.
Maybe even a picture.
Yeah, or even add your picture at the exact time that you were doing it too, so you could
Time. Yes, yes. True, true.
technology is so powerful. Now, let's talk a little bit about, your professional work thus far. you did an internship at Tama Corporation. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience there and how that was?
Oh, it was so good. It was so good because, like they said, how do you cook this good? I don't know. I've forgotten how you could it, but like minds move together or something. So in Tama, we have like exceptional programmers. I'm telling you, exceptional programmers. Some of them are my friends from university, and then some I know them like from outside. They are exceptional programmers, to be honest. So I learned a lot of things from them, a lot of tricks in coding. Okay, and I also moved from my level. Maybe I was here to here because experience teaches better, like
Mm-hmm.
practical. So
Of
I
course.
worked on practical projects. I had people to help me, assist me, show me tricks how to do it faster, things like that. So I learned a lot from there, honestly.
Okay. So now professionally too, that being your very first internship, right, after college. So as far as the culture, what would you say the culture was like for people like yourself that were trying to get into the field? Was it somewhere that you would want to work, or maybe not so much? What was that like for you?
So I think it was friendly,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. To be honest, my CEO was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he was so humble, down to earth, friendly, ready to solve any problem. He was so, so good. Like sometimes I really do miss him, and sometimes I talk with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was so, so, how do I say, humble and very, he was like a father to us. Yeah, he didn't make us feel like, okay, this is a boss. And then we were like, okay, children and father. And yeah, and the other employees were also good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So now let's talk a little bit about the women's role in IT in Liberia, right? So what would you say the role of women is currently at? Like, where is it at currently as far as women in technology in Liberia? And then where would you say it needs to be?
So, as we all know, this field is a man dominated field all around the world. It doesn't exclude Liberia. In fact, Liberia is like, we don't have lots of female developers. I know a few female developers, but I don't know a lot compared to the men. So, one thing I think we should also like, how will I say it? I think females should enter this field a lot, okay? And because females have a unique way of bringing things to the table, and that will also meet a lot their skills, the uniqueness will meet.
What are some of those uniqueness?
So let me give you an example. Okay, if you
Okay.
say in coding okay, web development,
Mm-hmm.
it's divided into two. So there's a front end developer and a back end developer. So a front end developer is the person that develops everything the users see, okay, like the colors, the animation, and all that. And the back end developer is the person that does the functionalities, at the back that
Mm-hmm.
people usually don't see but they use. So a lady, I'm not saying that's the only place she can succeed in, but a lady, if she's doing front end, she's good. We have good eyes for colors, design. Yeah. So
To
I
an extent,
think
yeah. Yeah, I can see. I don't know if it's backed by science, but okay.
okay, yeah. No, actually, I've seen some girls like they're very good at blending colors and things like that. Like I'm not good at
You know,
it, so I'm
I
not
would
sure
I
how
would agree because if you translate that to fashion, women are much more fashionable than men. So yes, I will agree. Mhm.
but I'm not good at it, so it's not all girls, both
Yes.
girls.
Hmm.
Yes. So those are the uniqueness I think they're going to bring, and so everyone has a different way of thinking. The males have different way of thinking, females have different way of thinking. So if we have a diverse environment, I think it's going to be something really good and better than having just one way of doing things.
Right.
Okay.
And the thing, one of the reasons I think that is important too, because we got to keep in mind that when men, uh, the when the field is dominated by men and they're creating products that is supposed to be beneficial for all humankind, it's really scary because, like you said, it's not diversified. They're not getting the feedback from other people, other genders,
Yes. Yes.
that it could also benefit. So then there's an imbalance of
There is. Yeah.
creation and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I wouldn't say, but I don't remember where I read it from. It's like women pay attention to details than men. Yeah. If you're
that
comparing.
I can reason with.
Yeah.
Men are just
So,
trying to check the box. And then with that, it's very important when you're coding. It's all about details because when you mess up one code, I can only imagine how difficult it is to
it
go
is.
back and
It's
see
very
what.
difficult.
Mhm.
Very difficult. Yeah.
So how would you explain just for somebody to understand? Because there are different levels to IT. There are different ways and things that people can specialize in. But for what you have done, how would you explain it to the ordinary person to understand like what it is and to kind of garner some interest in that for them?
Okay. So as we, I don't know if we all know, but IT has different branches. Okay, and I specialize in software engineering, and I love software engineering. That's why I did it. Software engineering is basically everything about softwares, building softwares, the process they pass through, things like that. Okay, and like I could give common example like Facebook, because I know everyone uses Facebook, Facebook, WhatsApp. So people that build those softwares that you use, those apps, those websites are software developers. Okay, I don't know if it's clear enough. So maybe you could give me a feedback. Is it clear? Maybe I can make it clearer.
Yes, to an extent. So the developers are the same as the engineers. It's just an interchangeable word, or is the engineer more on the back end and the developer is, like you give that example of front and back end.
Yeah, so engineering is like it's not just involved in software development. It's
Mhm.
like the entire process of software passes through. So it's
Mm.
not just building the software.
Okay,
Okay, so yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. Now, for a young woman like yourself, imagine yourself when you were younger, like when you first got inspired by IT. What if, there was another person like that watching and you would like to encourage them to get into the field? Because for them, they don't have a brother to inspire them like the way your brother did. What would you say to them?
So the first thing I would say to them is first discover if you have the passion. Because if you do not have the passion, to be honest, it will be a difficult journey for you, very difficult. I don't know, like, I'm not trying to make this sound bad, but it will actually be very difficult. So find, so to create a passion for it, one, and then after creating a passion, try to find people involved in those fields. Because even if I didn't have my brother, even with my brother there, not even with my brother there, I also looked for people that were in this field, in the field. So like I talked to people online, like LinkedIn, yeah. I looked for people in Liberia that were doing software engineering or people that are involved in IT and tried to talk to them, getting because we had some people that were advanced. I took part in hackathons. Yeah. Look for people that are organizing hackathons. That would really help a lot. And watch a lot of YouTube videos because sometimes you might not have the person but closer to you, but someone on the video might inspire you, you know? Yeah.
So first, create the passion.
Create the passion.
Try that because if you don't have the passion, like you said, it's going to be one hell of a journey, right? So find the passion or find some form of inspiration and then find people to kind of mentor you, I think is what you're saying, mentor
Yes.
you along the way.
Yep.
And those can be Liberians, non-Liberians, whoever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's
Thank you
not
for sharing.
compulsory. It's not compulsory that the person is closer to you. So, you can actually chat with some people that are outside as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you're truly passionate about. And, like you said, you're trying to specialize in cybersecurity. Now, in its simplest form, I'll go ahead and do the simple part of it, and then you can do the difficult part. But in its simplest form, cybersecurity basically ensures that when we are surfing the web, we're secure, our passwords are protected, and so
True.
on. So, how can you? What else do you think you need to add to that to help people understand the significance of cybersecurity and how it applies to the Liberian context? Because a lot of times I feel like when these things are said, people think that they're foreign to Liberia. Oh, we don't have to worry about cybersecurity because you know that we don't even have internet here, so there's no one trying to hack our system. You know.
So to be honest, like every day of our life, someone is trying to hack someone. And as I said, Africa is a soft belly, so most hackers turn to this direction. So I've even had lots of cases where many people got
And
hacked from
by
Facebook.
let me just clarify before you go. So by soft belly, because you mentioned it before, do you mean by that you mean like it's easier for people to hack into systems because they're not
Yeah.
as protected? Okay, all right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So despite cyberspace in Africa and Liberia, it's really opened. We don't have lots of, okay, let me look for this simple, very simple. We have the police, right, in our countries to protect citizens, and we have bad people. So it could be terrorists, armed robbers, and every bad person. So the police is there to protect the citizens, right? That's the same thing in the cyberspace. It's open, and we have bad people. We shall call the black hats, and then we have people that like police. They call ethical hackers or white hats. So they are there to protect us from evil malwares, viruses, and things like that. So to be honest, we're really prone to hack attacks, even in Liberia.
So, do you have any personal instance where somebody that maybe you've graduated with that has the technical expertise but decided to use it for unethical reasons and took it? You don't have to say their names, of course. This is not a police investigation, but like took advantage of the knowledge that they have to maybe hack into a bank, a system or an account. Do you have any personal experiences, or maybe not with your friends, but things that you've heard that you would like to, just so we can get the point across to people that this is a real issue even within our country?
Okay. So um, the only people I've had like close to me that have done like just to hack a Wi-Fi password, basic things. Hack. I've had people that have tried to hack Facebook accounts and things like that, but I don't know if they succeeded. But Valley, I've had people that have tried to hack, things. Yeah.
So, in terms of cybersecurity, how secured? What are the infrastructures like for banks, like the Central Bank of Liberia? Do you have any idea on the type of infrastructure they use or data centers they use to keep their funds and everything safe from cyber attacks?
To be honest, I have no idea,
Okay.
and I've never like tried to check.
That's probably a good thing because if you're checking, it probably means that's probably a good thing. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about artificial intelligence, right? That's a
Yes.
little much tougher of a topic to explain. So again, just try to explain that to somebody watching. What is artificial intelligence and how does it benefit? How could it benefit Liberians?
Okay. Artificial intelligence is actually making machines smarter. So we actually use it every day, some of us, but some of us don't know it's AI. Like we have a bit in our phones when we're typing, you see word suggestions. That's AI, a bit of AI. And also, when you type in your Facebook account, you see Facebook suggesting last names, suggesting words to end whatever you're writing. That's AI. And I don't know, people that have iPhones or Android, we have Siri, where you say, "Hey Siri," and then she answers back. It tells you, ask her any question. I just said, "Hey Siri," and my phone came up.
Funny. She's very
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, it's very smart. That's AI. So it's making a machine smart,
One
like a
sec.
human.
I don't have an answer for that.
Sorry.
Is there something else?
So it's making a machine smart like a human, okay, but faster than a human. So in Liberia, we're already using it a lot, and I am very sure in years to come we will be using higher forms of AI.
What do
But
those higher forms look like of AI?
like self-driving car,
Okay.
yes, and then robots, because though robots are, it involves robotics because of the hardware and all that, but it also involves AI because to make the robot to think. So it's a combination of robotics and AI, and I'm very sure in the next, I don't want to say, but in the future, I believe Liberia will start using that.
For sure. For sure. That's always the plan. Cool. Um, that's a lot. And to
Yeah.
think about it, we're pretty much if I were to, put a percent to it, not even close, but I think we have a good way to go. And because of people like you who are pioneering the way, I think we can definitely get there for sure. So let's talk a bit. We're coming closer to the end of the interview now. Let's talk a bit about personal projects like we mentioned in the beginning, things that, you're working on. And let's talk a little bit about that. So just give us an idea about the workshop for real estate. What was the vision behind that, and what led you to using your skills that you've developed over the years to actually solve a real problem that affected Liberian people and to make the life of the Liberian people better.
So as I would say, I didn't complete it because life is just so busy, and but I intend on completing it though. So it's a website that anyone that's looking for a house, a room based on our local environment, whatever, a land, you could just go on this on the website and check. We do have apps like that around, but I've never seen any website that has a room. Because most people, the reason I came up with this, it was I was at my house and this lady came and she was like, "Do you guys have a room in here?" She passed like, "No." Another person came again the same day. Do you have a? I was like, "Wow, is it that hard to find?"
Find a room.
That's what
Hmm.
that's where the idea came from. And then the land. Some people are like, how do I get a land and things like that. So that's where the idea came from because IT is used to solve problems.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's why I decided to create that. I haven't created it
Hmm.
completely. To create a website where people could just search, stay at your house, search for a specific location, the type of room you want, if two or an apartment, and then you can get the contact from the website and get in contact with whoever has that and find
So,
the whatever you're looking for.
okay, would it be anything like Facebook Marketplace where anyone can list their room?
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things that made me not to even complete it because marketplace just came up and made it easier because everyone is on Facebook. So I was like,
Yes,
oh god.
it's even more challenging. And to compete with a international company like Facebook is almost sometimes not even worth it.
What was it? No.
Hey, but that's understandable though. At least that's something I'm pretty sure you learn while doing that. You learn other things and learn that you can apply to other aspects of your professional career. So that's cool. Now let's talk about your favorite quote. You mentioned two quotes, and I'm gonna bring up the first one here so the audience can see,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about it right after. So tell us, what does that quote mean to you? If I
That's the
only
first
had an
one.
hour to chop down a tree, I would spend 45 minutes sharpening my axe by Abraham Lincoln. What does that mean to you personally?
That's the first one. What about the second one?
The Jesus one?
Yes.
Yes. So talk about the first one, and then I can read
Because
this.
both of them are the same. Both of them
Yeah.
are the same. So that's why I
Yeah.
want them to see the second one as well. So I don't have to talk two times.
So let me bring up the second one real quickly. But when I read that firstly, I said, "Wow, this is great," and I like that because it's one of those that you read and you have to take a minute to understand what it's saying. Um, But the second one says, plan carefully what you do, and whatever you do will turn out right. This is from Proverbs, and this is Jesus that is saying this. So go ahead. What do those mean to you?
Particularly, they mean a lot to me. When I just saw it, it grabbed my attention. I was like, wow, this is true. So mainly it's talking about planning and preparation. So if you don't plan well, if you don't prepare well for a task, a hand, or a project, obviously it's not going to turn out good. You always have to take a step back to strategize whatever you want to do before entering into it. Because many times, if I don't prepare well, it reflects itself on my project or whatever I'm doing. Like I remember when I just started teaching, because I've never taught before, like full time. I used to tutor, but I've never taught full time. And then I didn't know what to expect. So I just planned, like, not seriously, not with effort and that. When I came, I saw the reflection of what I did. The kids didn't notice it at all, but I know what I could do better.
Right.
Okay. So I knew, like, okay, I didn't plan enough. So next time I should plan and prepare well so
Right.
that I save a lot of time, I save a lot of energy. And if you're
Stress.
involving stress, yeah. And if you haven't you're doing something with money involved, if you don't prepare well, you might lose a lot of money. That's one thing. So I always, and I'm striving to perfection to practice this. Plan very well, even if it's almost, as he said, 45 minutes in 1 hour. So it means you have like 15 minutes to do whatever. Yes. So even if it'll take a lot of time, it's better I plan more before approaching the task. Then the task will be correct. Yes.
Yes, that's awesome. And I
Yeah.
like how you took it from two very different people. One is,
Yes.
Jesus Christ, and then the
Yes.
other one is a president of America, former
Yes.
president. So that's
Former person.
awesome. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
It's actually the same. Yeah.
Pretty much the same for sure. He probably was inspired by Jesus.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure.
So tell us a little bit. We just want to give you the floor here one last time. If there's anything you want to add, like your last words or phrases before we end the show, but just go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay. To anyone listening to me, um, I really want to encourage everyone, boys and girls, okay, not just girls, boys and girls. So if you have any passion, not just IT, try to cultivate it. Because the world is not just Liberia, okay? You never know where you end up. So don't don't study, don't go through your process of cultivating your passion reluctantly, because it might affect you in the future terribly. You never know where you might go. So whatever you're doing, put in effort, okay? Even if it's tiring at times, we know it is. But we know what there's this quote that says hard work beats talent. The more hard work you put in whatever you're doing, obviously, I can tell you your future will be bright. And also depending on God. Yeah, God will also make it.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. That's awesome. Well, thank you for the time. Thank you for honoring our invitation. I do
Yeah.
want to mention one last thing. We have the dialogue next Saturday. If you can make it, you're the only female that we've interviewed for this series. Again, going back to why IT, we need more women involved because there's not a lot of women to reach out to interview. So thank you for accepting that. It was very much needed that we have a female to speak from the perspective of a woman in the field. And thanks for sharing your story. We've been, grateful for having you on the show, and that pretty
Yeah.
much concludes it. So to everyone watching, you've been watching the 1847 show. I've been your host, Prince Larmin Jarbo, and this was season 1, episode 9, which is part of our series called Digitalized Liberia. This series highlights individuals solving real problems by integrating technological solutions to make Liberia a digitalized nation. To watch previous or upcoming episodes of our show, please don't forget to follow us on social media at the 1847 show. Next week, we'll have the dialogue, which will feature the 4 guests, depending on their availability, of course, that will be discussing what IT should look like or the future of IT in Liberia. So if you can, join us next week for the dialogue. Again, until next time, God bless you and God bless Mama Liberia. Take care.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands.
For we just dance, yeah.
One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah, nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hail, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land with liberty, shalom be for all of us. I'm not talking about one person, all of us. History said you've been the cornerstone of Africa. You've been a safe place when the free slave came back to Africa. That green pepper coast. Hey, Mama Liberia, I can't wait to see you taking over Africa. You ain't got the power to do it, man. You are lifted. See your children there. Look at how they.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba, founder of Destiny Creative Organization and owner at Genesis Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.